Hey, remember during my Valentine's Day video where I said this?
Who knows, I might make a whole video on this game by itself in the future.
Well, guess what I'm talking about today? I want to quickly preface this video with 3 things. 1, this video contains pretty heavy talks about mental health and deeper discussions of mental illness. So if that's something that's upsetting to you, please do feel free to click off the video. Also, I'm not a therapist, so everything I say in this video will only come from my personal experience. So don't take anything I say as actual medical advice. That being said, if anything in the video strikes a chord with you and you want to do some of your own research or want resources in seeking help or therapy, I will be including links in the description. Number 2, I still stand by what I said in that Valentine's Day video. Katawa Shoujo is a game best experienced with no prior context. So if you're interested in playing Katawa Shoujo, click the link in the description to download and play the game. It's completely free. And lastly, number 3, this video is far from any kind of review or introduction to the game. I'm going to be strictly talking about my first playthrough of the game and my thoughts and interpretations. So if you're not interested in talking about Hanako's path, then you might not be interested. With all that being said, let's get to it. The game opens on a wintry setting as we see the protagonist, Hisao, as he's being asked out by his female classmate. This is until he's struck by a heart attack. After this, he's administered to a hospital. He's told by his parents that he will have to go to a school designed to help the disabled. A boy goes to a school for the disabled and chaos ensues. The game has a sort of beginning segment where you're introduced to the cast and you choose which route you want to take. But amongst all of this, there was one character that caught my attention. After a couple days at school, Hisao decides that he wants to check out the library of the school, and that's when he meets Hanako. He sees her tucked away into a corner of the library and tries to strike up a conversation, but unintentionally scares her off. There was something that struck me about this first meeting. Maybe it's because I have a weird thing for nervous characters. I decided I wanted to do her out first. You later make friends with a blind girl named Lily, who's Hanako's best friend. Just by looking at the two of them, you can see why Hanako takes comfort in Lily, somebody who can't see her physical imperfections. While getting closer to the two of them, you start to learn that Hanako has trauma related to her birthday, since that's when the fire that took out her family and left her scarred had occurred. When I learned this about Hanako, she shifted in my mind from a character that I liked to a character that was reflecting traits I saw in myself. I've always had a lot of hang-ups and struggles surrounding my own birthday, for obvious reasons. Even when I was younger, I remember my birthdays were pretty somber affairs. It's hard to celebrate life when you have death on the back of your mind. So to see this weirdly specific detail of my own life reflected back to me was incredibly poignant and pretty unexpected. There was one small scene that really surprised me in how much I related to it. During the school festival, Hisao and Hanako go to the back room where they usually hang out. Hisao sees that Hanako is walking a little weird, and he asks her about it. She tells him that she's playing a game where she only steps on off-color tiles. I was immediately taken back to high school, where I used to do the exact same thing with the off-color tiles at my school. The memory of that lonely little game I would play just by myself since I didn't have a lot of people to talk to was somehow such a small piece of what I experienced at school, and yet hearing about it again takes me back. It was oddly nostalgic. The scene was a stark reminder of the person I used to be, and to see Hanako do it only endeared me to her more. The game was full of moments like this, with its warm palette and realistic backgrounds. It somehow has a way of making you feel nostalgic for things that didn't happen to you in the past. It's an incredibly comforting experience. That was, until one incident in the game brought back bad memories like a stab in the back. A sudden strike of reality that shook me and brought me back to one of the worst points in my life. During one day of class, Hisao offers Hanako to come over and work with the study group. While he's doing the group work, he sees that Hanako is slowly falling further and further behind. She's too scared to ask for help, which only makes things worse. She starts shaking, and then the whole class starts looking at her. Everything was only serving to make the situation worse. For me to tell you why I related to this, I need to tell you about me. When I was 16, I was diagnosed with derealization disorder. Derealization disorder is a mental illness in which during episodes of high stress and anxiety, the person with the illness will feel a sense of being out of one's own body. I remember being in the same place as Hanako, sitting in a classroom, falling behind, and having that anxiety of the situation crash down on me, while I felt the eyes of my classmates pierce through me like daggers. That feeling of choking on your own tongue and being afraid of whatever happens next will be the thing to push you over. The feeling of helplessness, the pain of feeling alone in a place full of people. All these were feelings I almost felt every day back when I was in school. I remember being where Hanako was in the situation. I remember being set off by small things like this. After this, with the help of friends and faculty, Hanako manages to bounce back from the panic attack. Seeing her mope around her room and seeing her avoid school after her panic attack were all things I remember I had to do during my process of healing. I remember seeing the faces of friends after I was gone for a while and having them ask me about where I was. I remember friends knowing what I was going through and trying to cheer me up besides it. Even though my anxieties and mental health were caused and expressed in different ways from Hanako, I could still see myself in her, and I grew attached. Also, being able to see these events through the point of view of Hisao allowed me to reflect on how those around me saw the same kind of episodes, and allowed me to get a perspective outside of my own. Lily tells Hisao and Hanako that she has to leave due to a family emergency. The group shares a little more time together and Lily takes her leave. After a little while, Hisao and Hanako start to drift apart, and both Hisao and Hanako realize this. And after having a little heart-to-heart about their scars, they have sex. Play the music. We won, boys. Right? That's how these kind of games work. Sex is just a treat you give the player if they hit the buttons real good. But after the couple wakes up, it's just awkward silence between the two, as they don't know what to make of what just happened. When they do talk to each other, Hanako says the only reason she did it was she didn't want to always feel like a burden to Hisao. She didn't want to be somebody that Hisao was supposed to enable forever, and she wanted to be his equal. After talking, they realize they want the same thing, and that's for both of them to be able to express their love for each other and allow themselves to be improved by the other. That's what I think is at the core of Hanako's route. That love isn't just blind enabling, but the ability to understand, empathize, and improve each other. That no matter what happened to you in the past, you can become better and heal. That those around you serve as the inspiration to make you a better person, and for you to work on yourself. Just by giving little pushes, those around you are able to improve you in ways that you couldn't see yourself. Hanako's story is a story of learning how to be happy, in spite of your scars, both physical and mental. And that's a lesson I feel like I needed to learn. That's why Katawa Shoujo is my favorite dating sim. Hey guys, thanks for watching. This video is very personal, so I hope you liked it. I hope you can relate to a couple of the things I said. Huge shout out to Saber for editing this video. If this video looked or sounded noticeably better than the rest of my stuff, it's him. he did it. So huge shout out to him. Please go check out his social media and everything. He really did help me out a lot. Also, as I said before, in the description will be a bunch of resources for mental health experts and things like that, to help you do research and get help of your own. And besides that, I hope you have a nice day, and hope this video was to your liking. All right, see you later.